Hey, how's it going, guys? This is Nick at Barben.com. Today I'm going to be reviewing the electronic muscle stimulation device, Marc Pro. So Marc Pro is based in California, and it's actually an acronym. It stands for Muscle Activated Recovery Cascade. It's one of the biggest names in the electronic muscle stimulation device industry. They work with a lot of different athletes from a lot of different fields. They work with pro triathletes, pro weightlifters, and a lot of big names in the CrossFit industry as well. What's interesting about Marc Pro is that while it only has one protocol, like for instance, a lot of other electronic muscle stimulation devices, they have like one protocol for warming up, one for recovery, one for using during a workout, and so on. There's really just one protocol to use Marc Pro with. And they just kind of suggest that you put on different parts of the body to have different effects and use different levels of electronic charge. One thing that they say is very different about the Marc Pro is that the actual waves that they use, they're like longer. So for instance, while a lot of devices, they contract the muscle at full force and then completely release it, the waves with Marc Pro are quite a bit slower. It's more gradual warming up of the muscle. And according to them, that means it results in less fatigue and less soreness. When you purchase Marc Pro, this is everything you get here. You get this little carrying case here. You get the instruction manual. You get the very portable charging station here, which you charge up at home, but you can take it with you anywhere you go, and it works for quite a while without being charged. You get you get about 6 months worth of electrodes. They wear out after about a month, and you get 6 of them. And then you get these wires here, which you connect to the electrodes, and then you attach onto your body. So that's everything you get. So I've been using the Marc Pro for a few weeks now, and what I found is that primarily, above all else, it is a recovery tool. So it's not something that's meant to help you build muscle necessarily, but what it does do is it helps you recover better between workouts. So for instance, the other day I tried it out to try and get a good effect, a good understanding of the effect of the device. I did a really high volume leg workout with a lot of unilateral exercises, and then I used the Marc Pro just on one leg, just to see if the soreness would be reduced the next day. I found that the soreness was indeed reduced the next day, but what the main effect of Marc Pro is that while it does help with soreness, what it really helps you do is like hit the same body part more often. So it's really good for high volume athletes, people who do a lot of workouts, either like a lot of reps, a lot of volume, or a lot of frequency. If you're the kind of person who kind of just hits one body part per week, you have like a chest day, a leg day, and you have 7 days of rest, it might not be quite so useful, but for people who do a lot of workouts, it can really come in handy. So I've just hooked the Marc Pro up to my forearm and hand to give you an idea of a common protocol. This might be something that you would use to recover from a very grip heavy workout, like say a deadlift or a lot of pull-ups or something like that. So the way you do it, you just hook it up. This is on the B module here. And all you need to do, so it's nothing here, you switch it on. Now it's at 0. You can see on the screen there. And as I gradually turn up the electricity, you will see my arm will gradually start twitching. So right now we are on 4. You get to pick it anywhere between 0 and 9. Each which is broken up into 2. So you can do like into 10, sorry. So you can do like 1.1, 1.5, and so on. So 9 is the maximum. For smaller muscle groups like this, it's a bit uncomfortable to go further above 5. This is 5 here, and it's really kind of bouncing. For larger muscle groups, for instance on the quads or even the calves, I've gotten up to like 7, sometimes 8 without too much discomfort. You need to work your way up there, but yeah, larger groups, they tend to take a bit more electricity. So Marc Pro recommends that you would do a protocol like this, like just leave it going here for about an hour. That might be a lot for you. I've done it for 30 minutes, sometimes 45 minutes, sometimes 60 minutes. It's up to you, but it's definitely the kind of thing, at least I recommend, that you would want to ease into. So maybe start with 30 minutes, then go from there and eventually work your way up to the larger amounts, larger time limits, depending on how you recover yourself. So as far as the price goes, this is the basic Marc Pro, it's $650. There's also Marc Pro Plus, which is $950, which has a bigger emphasis on pain relief. It helps with like sort of chronic pain, long-term pain relief. So that's relatively expensive. There are other wireless models that are like $700 on the market. And there are some models that have like more wires, but also like more different protocols you can use for like something like $400 or $500. So it's relatively expensive. There are cheaper models out there. That said, Marc Pro says the reason why the model is a little bit more expensive than others is, again, it's because of that the fact that they have like the longer term pulses that are meant to be more friendly on the muscles, and they're meant to use more muscle contractions and produce less soreness. So the price may be worth it for you in that regard. So a few things that I liked about the Marc Pro. One of them is a dynamic decaying waveform. That's the type of electricity that I mentioned earlier that has the longer pulse time, which tends to contract more muscle, and it can help like transport more blood nutrients into the muscle itself. I thought that was pretty cool. It's also pretty portable. It holds a charge for a very, very long time. The electrodes are nice and light. They're easy to use. There are a lot of like wireless models out there where they're kind of heavy and it's easy for them to fall off. I also really like that it's just like nice and simple. There are a lot of like very high-tech EMS devices out there that I've tried. They're really, really hard to figure out. They take a long time to work out. You spend a lot of time with a manual. There are all these different protocols you have to figure out. With the Marc Pro, it's effective, but it's also nice and simple. You just put the electrodes on, you plug it in, and you turn it up to the electric charge that you're comfortable with. There are a few things I wasn't quite so crazy about with the Marc Pro. It is relatively expensive compared to some other EMS devices. Some people might not like all these wires as well. There are wireless models that you can choose from on the market, so some people might find that a little bit cumbersome. Also, while I really liked how simple this device was, obviously there are more complex devices with more different programs which some people really like. In particular, there are some EMS devices that you can wear like when you're working out. They have like certain protocol that send charge through the muscles that are meant to like in correct form and do things like that. That's not the kind of service that this product offers. So this might not be for you if you really want something you can take into the gym or use for a bunch of different protocols. All right, there's my thoughts on Marc Pro's electronic muscle stimulation device. For the full review, you can check out the link below at barbend.com.